Here we go. Let's go to phys.org, phys.org. This is a pretty good one. This is one we haven't talked about in quite a while, and I keep meaning to get to it. And this is exactly why we're doing the show, because there's kind of an overflow of news that we just can't get to. There's so many great things to talk about that we just never really get to this stuff, and we haven't talked about this one in a long time. But there's been some developments here. There's been some developments regarding this. So this is a report of December 11th, 2020 by phys.org, and headline is this: Scientists suggest U.S. embassies were hit with high-power microwaves. And here's how the weapons work. All right. So if you guys remember, this was a couple years back now, maybe a year or so, something like that, where we had people in the Cuban embassies, Canadians, Americans, and others even. I think people from the United Kingdom were there as well. And there was some sort of sickness that kind of passed through these areas, and these individuals would just be violently ill, just like their bodies ceased functioning, and they were just like vomiting out of control, just sweating and shaking, and there was no like neurological tests and the rest of the stuff, blood tests, whatever, right? Whatever was going on, it didn't seem like it was any sort of normal malady that people are used to really knowing about, right? Like this didn't seem like a sickness that could be characterized or categorized, and so they pulled their people out of there, and then it turns out that months after this, as they're still monitoring these people, they did improve, they did get a little better, but it turns out that many of them also had permanent neurological damage as a result of whatever sickness was happening, and so some speculated that it was there was an attack of some sort on the embassies down there in Cuba. All right, so now check this out. This gets a little more nutty as this goes. Okay, so straight from the article here from phys.org, the mystery ailment that has afflicted U.S. embassy staff and CIA officers off and on over the last 4 years in Cuba, China, and Russia and other countries appears to have been caused by high-power microwaves, according to a report released by the National Academies. The committee of 19 experts in medicine and other fields concluded that directed pulsed radio frequency energy is the most plausible mechanism to explain the illness, dubbed Havana syndrome. The report doesn't clear up who targeted the embassies or why they were targeted, but the technology behind the suspected weapons is well understood and dates back to the Cold War arms race between the U.S. and the Soviet Union. High-power microwave weapons are generally designed to disable electronic equipment. But as the Havana syndrome reports show, these pulses of energy can harm people as well. Yeah, this is crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. So they're actually pointing to the Cold War as Cold War origins. So what's going on? Like who attacked these people? So this is how quiet it's been. When this first happened in Cuba, it did get some press, right? But then it's also happened in other places, like they said, China and Russia. And they're not, like, again, this kind of gets no play whatsoever in the media, which drives me insane, because this is the type of shit people should be talking about. Like, if this is a gain of function type exercise, all right, and you're using it on like small samples of not your own people, like people that work at, as in your embassy as foreign diplomats or whatever they happen to be, and you're using it against them, right? Is it a new technology? Is it an old technology? Is there testing to make sure it works so they can get away with it? Or what the hell's really going on here, right? Like that's the sickest part. Are they testing this on a small group of people to maybe roll out something larger and actually be able to attack a larger group of people? I mean, that's what's going on here. That's what freaks me out about this, is because these are the types of things that can really cause havoc. I mean, we got satellites buzzing up there. We got huge electromagnetic everything. Like, it just hate to call Alex Jones here, but it says, yeah, this stuff is scary. This stuff is scary. Like, what's actually happening? Who's behind it? And how long is this going to go on? Pretty nutty. Here we go. So, plasma physicists at the time realized that if you could generate, for example, a 1 megavolt electron beam with a 10 kiloamp current The result would be a beam power of 10 billion watts or gigawatts. That's different than 1.21 gigawatts, right, from the Back to the Future. 10 billion watts or gigawatts. That'd be 10 gigawatts. So converting 10% of that beam power into microwaves using standard microwave tube technology that dates back to the 1940s generates 1 gigawatt of microwaves. Okay, etc. So on. Let's see. Although these high power microwave sources generate very high power levels, they tend to generate repeated short pulses. So, for example, the Sinus 6 in my lab, this is the scientist, the article talking about this, produces an output pulse on the order of 10 nanoseconds or billionths of a second. So even when generating 1 gigawatt of output power, a 10 nanosecond pulse has an energy content of only 10 joules. To put this in perspective, the average microwave oven in 1 second generates 1 kilojoule, or 1,000 joules of energy. It typically takes about 4 minutes to boil a cup of water, which corresponds to 240 kilojoules of energy. This is why microwaves generated by these high-power microwave weapons don't generate noticeable amounts of heat, let alone cause people to explode like baked potatoes in microwave ovens. So what is this? This is a stealth weapon for sure. This is something that can be weaponized against populations that have no idea what's really going on until you're more sick than you know. When this first hit, when we talked about it last year sometime, it was speculated there was some sort of subsonic actual audio weapon, right? Because they didn't know. They just know people were getting sick, and they couldn't really explain how it was happening. So there's a lot here that, again, we're going to keep an eye on this as it develops. It's been a year in the making. And, so it went from them thinking it was some sort of audio weapon to now high-power microwaves. And so not just, we're talking Cuba, we're talking China, we're talking Russia. And this is terrifying. This is pretty crazy stuff. What's up, Dolly says that we're still printing more money today, right? Yeah, exactly. Going back to that Egyptian article, exactly. Ark, what's up, says this is absolutely out of the world, actually scary. And I agree. This is the scary stuff that again, why are we not talking about this? This is terrifying. And here's the Overflow News Show because we can't get to all of it. And there's a lot of important information needs to be discussed. Okay, let's see. Ark says this is actually scary. Agreed. Papa Roach, what's up? Says HARP. HARP. Yeah, right. What's up, Supervike? Thanks for showing up. Sorry you're a bit late. No problem. No sweat. No sweat. Yeah, HAARP. That's we'll do another one on that. We'll do some more news on that in the future. I don't have articles regarding that, but yeah, like this is the type of stuff that's just terrifying and scary. What are they using it for, and how long has it been going on? And again, like if this is some sort of a small sample gain of function, what are they going to do with it in large scales? I think that's the problem. That's the problem with this.